Hari Om. We are listening the story of Mahabharata. Last three lectures. They started from the birth of Bhishmacharya. I have given so many incidences. Bhishmacharya's generation, then Vichitravirya, that generation, then Yudhishthir and Dhritarashtra, then Kauravas and Pandavas. So all three generations, I explained something about that because the original story is very, very big. It may take very long to tell and explain, understand. But in short, we came to the generation of Kauravas and Pandavas. I explained the struggle between the two. And finally, there was a question of the kingdom of Hastinapur. It was in holding Duryodhan, son of the Dhritarashtra, was holding the charge of the king. He is not wanted to give some part to Pandavas. And that is why the war has been declared. Rather accepted, I can say. And we came to the incidents of the war actually on Kurukshetra. Of course, the story is continued hereafter also, very long. But now we came to the point of Bhagvadgeeta. That was the intention. On the war field, this Bhagvadgeeta is a conversation between Arjuna and Krishna. But he is called Sri Bhagavan. So I will also call Sri Bhagavan now. So that was a conversation between the two on the war field and before beginning of the war. Now this war has started with this conversation and ended in victory of Arjuna and Pandavas. And that is what the Bhagavad Gita is. So during this course of Bhagavad Gita, there is no change in the story. I just told you story at the starting of Bhagavad Gita, war has to start. End of Bhagavad Gita, after Bhagavad Gita, war has started and ended in victory. So during the period of Bhagavad Gita, there is no something happens and nothing is there. So no story is moving there. Now in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Bhagavan explains so many things to Arjuna. In total time period, if you can think of, it is only 2 hours. To read Bhagavad Gita, it needs 2 hours only at present also. So that time also, same timing would have been there. And now hereafter, from the next lecture, we are going to study the each and every shloka, stanza of Bhagavad Gita. What is explained by Sri Bhagavan. There are some questions asked by Arjuna in between, and those are answered by Sri Bhagavan. So likewise, the conversation has continued for 2 hours. And now we are going to study all that. Definitely the question is, why to study Bhagavad Gita today? Because it was explained maybe 5,500 years ago. The total social atmosphere, everything was totally different. Now we have got facing different problems. We have got the advantage of modern science, development of modern science. So social life is totally different from Mahabharata's time and today's time. Then why to study Gita today? Whether it will be useful in our today's life. Because we are going to study, we are going to spend time. It's going to be useful for today's life. This is the question before studying the Bhagavad-Gita with everybody. So I am to answer these questions in this lecture. Why to study Bhagavad-Gita? How it is useful in our day-to-day life today also. Anyway, let us come to the incidents of Bhagavad Gita. First chapter of Bhagavad Gita indicates the situation, war situation. Of course, I am not going to study each and every slok, but in general, I am telling you. There were 4 million warriors. They were standing in front of each other on the war field of Kurukshetra. 1.6 million in Pandavas' side, 2.4 millions in Kauravas' party. It was a huge crowd was there. And they're ready to fight with each other. And fighting means killing each other. That's all. There's no other way than to kill. Actually, the day also was fixed with mutual understanding. Field was Kurukshetra. It was also mutual understanding because it was very, very big. The day was Margashirsha Shuddha Ekadashi. So this Indian calendar was running from that time, 5,500 years ago. Time was morning time. Sun was rising in the sky. And that was a rule, ethical rule that time. The war will start at sunrise. It will stop at sunset. So no question of lighting and all that. Because electricity was not there. But war was stopped at sunset. And they were just, again, both the parties, they can come together, they can discuss something like that. So after sunset, there was no war. Before sunrise, no war. But from sunrise to sunset, war was there. And that was strictly followed that time. So it was a morning time, sunrise was there, and war has to start. And all were waiting for the final signal to start. The conch was blown by Bhishmacharya. He was the senior most person, 120 years old. He was the senior most person. So he has blown the conch. Then other warriors also has blown their own different conches. That was explained in the first chapter. At the same time, before starting the war, Arjuna told Sri Bhagavan to take his chariot in between the two militaries, center point. And Lord Krishna followed the instruction. So Arjuna saw the opponents. Who are the opponents? Actually, he was knowing everything. So many discussions were going on before that. But still he saw actually. And he saw that all his relatives are there. His grandfather, Bhishma Acharya, is there. The teacher, Acharya, Drone was there. And his Kauravas were their brothers only. So all these relatives he saw in front of him. And thought that now I have to start the war, means I have to kill those people. Just see, they lived together up till now. There is struggle in between, no doubt. But still they're completely relatives, grandfathers, then teachers and all that. And how to kill them? He got a shock. This is very important point. That Arjuna got shocked with the thought that I have to kill these all relatives. And he got this severe attack. We can call it as a panic attack. The detailed explanation is given in shlokas. I am not giving in details. We'll discuss afterwards. And so he decided not to war, not to fight. He said, Lord Krishna, I don't want to kill my relatives. What is the use of killing the relatives and getting the kingdom? Because this killing was for getting the kingdom. So Arjuna said, I am not interested in getting the kingdom. I don't want to fight with my relatives. And that's all. Now, to take Arjuna out of this panic attack, Sri Bhagavan has given the discourse of 18 chapters of Bhagavad-Gita. This took 2 hours, that time also. Presently also, it took 2 hours to read Bhagavad-Gita. That means after the total explanation of Bhagavad-Gita, Arjuna has recovered from his condition of panic attack and became ready to fight. And that is the end of Bhagavad-Gita. The war had started afterwards. It continued for 18 days. And finally, Arjuna won the war. And there was tremendous violence in the war. Millions of warriors were killed. So this is a result of Bhagavad Gita. So some people may interpret that philosophy in Gita gives stimulation to violence. Apparently this looks correct. Because actually it happened like that. Because Arjuna has decided not to fight. Lord Krishna has given the all explanation and stimulation to fight. And Arjuna came out of his panic attack. He started the war and won the war. A lot of violence was done in the war. This is the situation. So this interpretation, apparently it looks correct. But this is not correct actually. Because I can tell you, Gita was told to Arjuna. But this Gita was written down by Maharishi Vyas in the book of Mahabharata. And after Arjuna's, Gita was studied by millions and millions or trillions of people till today. So many people are studying also. But out of them, no one has got stimulation for fighting or violence or war. Arjuna got the stimulation for fighting. Afterwards, millions and trillions of people who have studied Bhagavad Gita, no one from that got a stimulation for fighting or violence or war. So this interpretation is not correct. Then what is actually the aim of Bhagavad Gita? Overall, we can say, for Arjuna, it was aim for fighting. But for others, no. Why? I will give some logical explanation for this. Arjuna was a great warrior. He came to war field to fight with the unreligious enemies like Kauravas. That is the evil part of that. And he was refusing to fight. He was refusing to follow his duty because to fight is a duty of a warrior. And with that intention only, all of them were collected on Kurukshetra. So they should follow their duty. To fight was duty of Arjuna. So Arjuna was supposed to follow the duty, but he was refusing to follow his duty by not starting the war. He was refusing his duty. Of course, after listening Bhagavad Gita, He explained by Krishna. So this is what the interpretation is there. That Bhagavad Gita stimulates a person who is refusing to follow his duty. Bhagavad Gita is a stimulation for following the duties, whatsoever it is. For Arjuna, it may be to fight, but for us, it is not there to fight. But still, if we came in our life at certain incidents where we don't want to follow our duty, we have got our duties. Every person has got his own duty in his life. We should follow it. But many times we are not ready to follow. And that time, Bhagavad Gita gives a stimulation to follow the duty in our life, which we have already accepted. So this is the correct interpretation of Bhagavad Gita. Actually, the conversation was between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. The conversation is over, Bhagavad Gita. The result expected was there. So Arjuna got win the war. That is okay. That's everything is over. Then people may ask why we should understand this and follow. Actually, Arjuna was a representative of a common person who is confused about performing the duties in the life. That is why the Gita is there. Whether I want to say that you forget Arjuna only, you think that you are in his place. You have come across certain incidences in your life where you don't want to follow your duties, don't wish to follow others. And then if you read Gita, Gita will stimulate you to follow your duty, which may not be the war, which may be something different. So it has been explained 5,500 years ago, but it is more valid for today's life also. So in simple word, I can say that we must follow and understand Gita philosophy as an explanation of yogic lifestyle. Because Sri Bhagavan has explained the total yogic lifestyle only in Bhagavad Gita. And nowadays, yoga lifestyle word has become very famous. Because our present lifestyle is very strenuous, with tensions, speedy, competitive, that results in many diseases. So when the doctors will tell that you change your lifestyle and change to yoga lifestyle, which is very calm, quiet, comfortable, and suitable, and all that. But what is yoga lifestyle? The answer is Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is explaining the total yoga lifestyle, how to follow. And that is why it is useful for us more than Arjuna. So forgetting Arjuna and all that story also, I say. Remember that is our explanation is given to us to follow our yoga lifestyle. I'll give some more explanation now. As I told you, Arjuna saw all the warriors, they were all his relatives, grandfather, teachers, and all that. And he came to a panic attack. Psychological effect. He said, I don't want to fight. Because he lost the total control over his body. That is explained in different shlokas that we'll see afterwards. The perfect explanation is there of his panic attack. And he could not stand also, he could not hold his Gandhi Dhanusha also and all that. So he was not able to fight also physically and mentally. He was depressed. So I can say in a simple word, Arjuna was highly depressed in the first chapter and decided not to war, not to fight. Then the total Bhagavad Gita is explained to him. And he came out of the depression after 2 hours physically. at the end of Bhagavad Gita. This indicates, and I want to interpret that Bhagavad Gita is a solution for depression. Arjuna listened Bhagavad Gita and he came out of depression. So it's very simple. Bhagavad Gita is a solution for depression, and that we are using this technique in our yoga therapy center practically. Because we came across so many depressed people, they come to our center. Some of them might have decided to suicide also. And they were telling us like that. So such depressed people, we give some yoga treatment also, asana, pranayam, meditation, but mostly we recommend them to read Bhagavad Gita, to listen Bhagavad Gita, to understand Bhagavad Gita, whatever they can do within 10 days. Because they stay in our hospital for 10 days. Their capacity may vary. Sometimes they only just listen, they can't read also. But we ask them to listen the recordings of Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes they can chant themselves, that is good. But some people can understand also. But whatsoever this is, we give the therapy of Bhagavad Gita to the depressed people and they come out of depression. That is our experience. So all of you also can remember, if you got some depression, may not be severe, maybe minor, whatever it is. Arjuna was severe depression. But he came out of depression within 2 hours. For ourselves, it may take long time. Because we are not so great as Arjuna. May take few days, few months also. But if you study Bhagavad Gita, one can come out of depression. So, it's a good solution, no? Because nowadays, depression cases are very large amount. So many people are getting depressed because of this drastic and hectic lifetime. So, Gita will give a solution for coming out of the depression. Of course, this is one basic concept which is practically useful in our day-to-day life. And in particular, the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita is explaining the foolproof technique to do the karmas in our life. Karma is a very important aspect which is connected in karma yoga also. Whatever we are doing in our life is karma. Actually, the word karma indicates the action. But in Bhagavad Gita, it is not any action. It is an action which is connected with somebody else. So these karmas, how to do? Just the one more important slok is there. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Ma karma phala heturhu mate sangotsva karma. This is, I can see, the central concept of Bhagavad Gita. Because as I told you, Bhagavad Gita is stimulating to do your karma properly, which everybody is doing in our life, but we are not doing properly. And that is why we have to face the complications in life. So Bhagwan is explaining how to do karma so that your life will be calm and quiet and in progress also. So this is a basic concept of Bhagavad Gita. Sri Bhagavan says you have to do karma, that means actions in your life. But don't expect the fruits, the results. Of course, in one way we can say there are results for each and every karma. But those are not under our control. That is all nature. So we should not expect the returns from the karma. But I am about sure that I am going to get the results. This is a very typical explanation which you must understand. We'll continue with that. See, if you do good karma, then something good for the others. It is called punya. Punya karma. And something to do bad thing for others. It's called papa karma. Now our karmas are like that. Punya karmas are there. Sometimes we help somebody. Sometimes our action disturbs somebody's life. That is papa karma. So punya karma and papa karmas are there. And there is a result of every karma for every person. That means no karma will remain without giving the result. This is also a basic concept in yoga also. That is accepted in Bhagvadgeeta also. So when we are doing karmas, some are papa karma, some are punya karma. For punya karmas, we are getting the good result. Something good will happen with us in our life. For papa karma, we are going to get bad results. Something bad things are happening in our life. But we cannot expect that I have done this karma, I must get this result. That is not under our control. We cannot decide what result should come. Let us just experience the result which comes naturally. But in our normal condition, our expectations are there. So Sri Bhagavan says, don't expect anything, but do the karmas. Don't run away from the karmas. Because Arjuna was running away from his karmas to fight as a warrior. He said, don't run away, you have to do it. I can give one example which will make it more clear about the expectation. Suppose a student is studying very hard. There is a clever student is there. He studied also very hard. He appeared for examination, given the answer perfectly. So he is very happy that I'm done very nice. So I must get first rank. So he has done his karma. He studied properly. No problem. But getting the result that he must be on first rank. But the result is not in his hand. There are examiners, a number of examiners are there. So they will decide what result will be there. So that student should not expect result that he should come in the first rank. But he expects normally. And suppose he stood in the second rank, not in first. So he will get highly depressed. Just like Arjuna. Highly depressed. So I wanted first rank, I got second rank, very bad. And in certain cases, the student may suicide also. These things are happening in our day-to-day life. So it's correct that Sri Bhagavan says you don't expect. If you study properly, you will going to get some result. It may not be as per your expectation. That will be as per the natural rules. Natural rules, you will get the result. So accept it as it is, without any counter-argument. So your life will be better. Suppose this student would have accepted that he stood in the second rank. Doesn't matter. He can study further. He can grow in his life like anything. And because of depression, his further actions are stopped. So, very bad returns. So he himself made his life bad because of expectation. So this is how it is told by Sri Bhagavan, not to expect anything. And whatever you have done, you are going to get the result. That is also true. So whatever result is there, accept as it is with pleasure and enjoy the life. So this is something like that. You see, there are so many things are there. When we study, each and every slok will come to each and everything, of course, hereafter. So I told you some of the important aspects for the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. There are many, many aspects are there. Even Sri Bhagavan explains different types of food also. Actually, it is not required for Arjuna. Arjuna on the warfield. But Bhagavan tells him which is better food, which is not good. Sattvic, Rajas, Tamas, different qualities of food. Likewise, so many philosophies have been explained by Sri Bhagavan in Bhagavad Gita. And as it is, if we think those philosophies, they are not required for Arjuna. Because Arjuna was on the warfield. Those philosophies are required for our common person, as a common person in day-to-day life. There are more things for a common person than Arjuna. So Bhagavad-Gita was not only for Arjuna. Arjuna was a representative of a common person. And Sri Bhagavan explained all this yogic lifestyle to Arjuna, means to a common person. So while understanding Bhagavad Gita, we must remember that we are in the place of Arjuna. Forget about Arjuna and Kaurava and Pandava and all that. You think that Sri Bhagavan is telling you only. So you are confused in your life. What to do and how to do and all that. So your confusion can lead to the worst of life. But if you read Bhagavad Gita, understand Bhagavad Gita, confusion will go off. You will do the karmas properly. You will get the better results and your life will be very calm and comfortable. So that is how the philosophy is explained in Bhagavad Gita is most suitable for a common person also. So this will be definitely going to useful for us. So from this viewpoint, we must study all these slokas, because hereafter we will be giving the explanation of each and every slok. There are 700 slokas. Of course, some slokas, maybe more than 550 slokas, Sri Bhagavan has explained the philosophy. Arjuna is just asking some questions in between, and Sri Bhagavan is answering the question. This is how this conversation is continued. So let us wait here now, and from next time we start understanding this conversation. Hari Om.